I saw you sitting on the edge of your bed this morning, the weight of 1,000 worries bowing your shoulders. The silence of the house seemed to scream the questions you don't dare ask anyone. Perhaps you arrived here by chance, or perhaps your finger trembled when touching this screen. But the truth is that there is no chance when it comes to a preordained encounter between the Creator and His creation. I know the color of your eyes and the depth of that wound you hide beneath a tired smile. Listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you. I called you by name, and today I have come to reveal to you that this pain that consumes you so much has an end date. Have you ever wondered why so many doors close just when you needed them most, or why the feeling of abandonment seems to be your only constant companion? There is a secret behind this desert you are crossing, something that human eyes cannot see, but that my spirit is about to unveil before you. If this voice of mine is echoing deep within your soul right now, I want to ask you for a gesture of trust. Tell me who you are, the one listening to me at this moment. Write your name, the city and the country from which you are seeking my presence in the comments. I want to know what time the clock shows at this instant when heaven interrupts your routine to speak directly to you. Let your heart pour out now. Write in these comments with the force of a cry born from the soul. Lord my God, I am here. I signed up because I love you and my soul thirsts to hear you. This is not just a video playing on your screen. It is a map of restoration that I have drawn for you. Throughout this conversation, I will show you how the pieces of your broken puzzle will fit together again under my hands. I will give you a clear answer, and for those who remain until the very last second, I will whisper a powerful phrase to their hearts, a spiritual key that will open doors you thought were sealed forever. There are prophetic blessings being released upon your life through faith. Stay with me, for I have not yet shown you all that my eyes have planned for your tomorrow. What do you most desire me to transform in your life at this very moment? Write in the comments. Renewal. I was there when the clock struck 3 in the morning, and the silence of your house was so dense that you could hear the beating of your own accelerated heart. I saw you walk barefoot to the kitchen, feeling the cold floor touch your feet, and fetch a glass of water just to disguise the lump tightening in your throat. At that moment, you thought no one was watching. You thought your groans, muffled by the pillow so as not to wake anyone, were lost in the void. But I was sitting beside you. I counted each short, heavy breath you took as you stared at the ceiling, wondering how long your strength would last. The outside world sees your firm posture, your rehearsed smile, and the way you care for everyone without complaint. But I see the soul that feels like cracked glass, about to shatter at the slightest touch. I saw your hands tremble as you opened that bill, looked at that message on your phone that never arrives, or checked what's left to support your home. I saw the deep weariness in your eyes when you looked in the mirror and no longer recognized the joyful person you used to be. Know that none of these moments were in vain, for it is written in the book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 18, "The Lord is near to the brokenhearted and saves the crushed in spirit. Your pain is not invisible to me. Every tear that soaked your sheets was collected by me and kept as a prayer that needed no words. I understand the weight of this silence you carry, this feeling that the sky has turned to bronze and that your pleas don't reach beyond the ceiling of your room. But listen, what you call abandonment, I call protection in the midst of the storm. In that instant when you thought it was the end, I was only holding your hand so that you wouldn't fall into the abyss. But I haven't yet shown you everything I did while you slept, or while you tried to sleep. At that moment, you didn't know what I truly saw in your tomorrow. Before we continue, tell me one thing. In the depths of your silence, what is your heart pleading with God for today? If this truth warmed your soul, like this message as a sign that you heard me. Share this video with that person you know also cries silently in the early hours of the morning. Write in the comments, heard. But there is still something I have prepared to give you now, something that will change the way you see your own seed. I feel your sigh of relief now that you understand that the burden doesn't need to be carried by you alone. This connection we created in this moment is eternal and sacred, a bond that neither time nor pain could break. If your heart burns with gratitude for this encounter, and if it is possible for you, only if your conditions allow, transform this feeling into a seed of love so that this work continues to reach wounded souls like yours. Consider my immense love and the sacrifice of my Son Jesus, and contribute using the link I left in the description of this video and also in the pinned comment. There you will find the place where your offering of affection can be deposited and consecrated before me, the Creator of all things. You can contribute any amount you wish, and if you feel like giving something different, just type what you want. Always remember, give only what fits in your heart, for I receive each gesture with infinite love. The absolute value doesn't matter, because what is little for you can be much for those who receive this word of hope from me. Whoever contributes any amount with a sincere heart, don't forget to register your name and city along with your contribution. On the first day of the following month, in a unique and special video on our Divine Love, the Voice of God channel, your name will be remembered, mentioned in gratitude, and covered by divine blessings that will be released in prayer upon your home. For it is written in 2 Corinthians chapter 9 verse 7, each one should give what he has decided in his heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver. Every offering made in faith is a precious seed before me, your Lord, and none of them will fail to bear fruit in fertile ground. I see what you do in the secret of your soul, and I will reward you in the sight of all, manifesting my glory in your ways. Stay until the end of this message, my daughter, because I still want to touch your heart with my voice in an even deeper and more revealing way. What are you giving to God today so that He may transform it into a miracle? Write in the comments, I surrender and trust. You know that moment when you walk down a familiar street but feel lost within yourself. I saw when you stopped at the corner, the cold afternoon wind hitting your face, and you closed your eyes just so you wouldn't see time passing while your life seemed stagnant. You smelled the approaching rain, and for a moment, wished it would wash away not only the asphalt, but also the bitterness that had settled in your chest. That weight you carry, as if pulling an invisible chain, is about to be left behind. I am changing the direction of your path right now as you listen to these words. Many times you thought the desert would be your permanent address, but it was only a passage. I allowed you to pass through the valley so that you might learn to recognize my voice in absolute silence. Now I am charting a new course. Imagine a compass whose hands stop spinning wildly and finally point north. That is how your heart will feel. Where before there was confusion about which decision to make, there will be crystal clarity. I am removing the stones that made you stumble in the past year, and I am placing in your hands the key to a door you never dared to knock on. For it is written in the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 19. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. This is not a generic promise for the multitude. It is a decree for your personal story. That familiar situation that seemed like a knot will be untied by unseen hands. Where there was scarcity, I prepare the table of provision. Feel now the lightness that begins to invade your shoulders. That tightness in your chest which felt like an iron hand is loosening. I'm guiding your steps towards calm waters where your soul can finally recover from so much weariness. But prepare yourself, because what I'm about to reveal to you is something you asked for in a whispered prayer 7 years ago, and that you thought I had forgotten. Tell me, my daughter, if today I asked you to leave behind everything that hurts you, would you have the courage to let go of the past and hold mine? If you feel your direction is changing, share this message with someone who also needs to find their way back home. Subscribe so we can walk together every day. Write in the comments, new route. But what I have reserved for the next step of our journey is something beyond what you imagine, a gift I have saved for your hours of greatest solitude. I understand the weariness that still tries to cloud your vision, the marks of the battles you won in silence, and that deep desire to have something to hold your hand every day, especially when my voice seems like a distant echo. Your hidden tears, those you quickly dried so no one would notice, are seeds of a new beginning that I have already authorized in heaven. I don't want to be just a passing visitor in your life, but the constant dweller in your heart, the one who awakens you with a whisper of peace and protects you when the weight of the world tries to crush you in lonely early mornings. Thinking of your need for guidance and a daily embrace to restore your soul, if your heart desires to go deeper with me, I have left you a gift in the form of a journey that I wrote with much love and care for all my beloved daughters and sons. The digital book called Divine Love Devotional, The Voice of God. He was prepared to accompany you day after day, being your balm and your guide in each morning of uncertainty, bringing the clarity that the noise of the world tries to steal from you. Access to this journey of intimacy is also in the link in the description of this video and in the pinned comment below. And if by chance it is not possible for you today, do not condemn yourself in any way. Remain with me here because I will also sustain you with this message and with my living presence. And so that your heart may rest, and you may not be confused by technical details. Soon after you register, access will arrive in the email you registered, with all the correct instructions, step by step, for you to begin this journey by my side without any difficulty. For it is written in the book of the prophet Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 1, "But now thus says the Lord, He who created you, O Jacob, He who formed you, O Israel. Fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name, you are mine. Take a breath, my beloved daughter. Feel my peace flooding the room where you are now. What I began in you, I will complete with the perfection of my hands. Now, let me ask you something with all my love. In the secret of your heart, what is your soul trying to say to God today? If you feel this care is for you, like this video and leave your sign of gratitude. Write in the comments, I am yours. I saw when you touched that scar, not just the one on your skin, but the one that burns in the center of your soul every time the calendar marks a specific date or when an old song plays on the radio. I saw the subtle tremor in your hands as you held that paper, that photograph, or that memory that you swore no longer hurt. There is a heavy silence in your room when the lights go out, a smell of rain that enters through the window and seems to bring back all the words you swallowed, so as not to appear weak before others. You feel like a house that has been hit by a storm, and although the walls are still standing, the interior is in ruins. But listen to what I, your Creator, have to tell you at this moment. My fingerprint is on each of these marks. I do not see your wounds as signs of defeat, but as the exact place where my glory will manifest itself. Where the world saw an end, I see the space for a new beginning. I am running my hands over the tattered fabric of your history, stitching with golden threads what life tried to tear. I know the chill that runs down your spine when the fear of the future knocks at the door, and it is precisely in this moment of vulnerability that I cover you with my mantle of protection. For it is written in the book of Psalms, chapter 147, verse 3, He heals the broken-hearted and binds up their wounds. Imagine now that my hands, the same hands that drew the constellations and gave limits to the oceans, are now applied to your chest. I'm sealing the fissures through which your peace was slipping away. That anguish that took your breath away will be replaced by a deep, calm breath, like that of a child finally sleeping in their father's arms after a day of crying. You no longer need to hide your pain from me. I know it better than you know yourself. And know that, while I heal what is broken, I am also preparing something your eyes cannot yet perceive, something cultivated in the soil of your tears, but I have not yet shown you everything I have prepared for your true rest. Tell me, from the depths of your truth, what is the burden you most want to surrender into my hands right now? If this word brought peace to your spirit, like this video, and let others feel this same comfort, share this encounter with a soul you know is wounded. Write in the comments, I was healed. I see when you arrive home and barely have the strength to take off your shoes. The weight of the day seems to have accumulated on the soles of your feet, as if each step were a steep, endless climb up a mountain of obligations. You enter the kitchen. The cold light of the refrigerator is your only company in that twilight moment, and the silence of that room seems to demand answers from you that you simply don't have to give. How many times have you held the phone in your hand, staring at the dark screen, wanting to call someone and say you can't take it anymore, but ended up locking the device and taking a deep breath so that no one would notice your limit? I was there, seeing the exhaustion bending your shoulders and the way your body seems to beg for a rest that a single night's sleep cannot provide. The world has taught you that to be strong you need to carry the entire planet on your shoulders. They told you that your value lies in how much you produce, how much you sacrifice for others, and how much you silently endure. But I tell you that my strength is perfected precisely when you admit, before me, that your hands can no longer hold so much weight. It is not a sin to be tired, my beloved daughter. It is human. And it is in this exhausted humanity that I find the perfect space to be your absolute support. I want you to feel now, at this very moment, as if an invisible and powerful hand is removing this leaden burden you have placed upon yourself. That worry about tomorrow, that guilt for mistakes I have already forgiven, and that fear of not being enough. Let all of that fall to the ground now. For it is written in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 11, verses 28 to 30, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Understand that what I offer you is not a new list of rules, but a partnership where I carry the most difficult part of the journey. I did not call you to the slavery of weariness, but to the freedom of being cared for by me. Now imagine yourself sitting in that armchair where you usually seek a moment of peace. Feel the backrest supporting your spine. Feel the air entering your lungs without that suffocating tightness that usually accompanies you on the bus or at work. I am breathing upon you a breath of new life. The burden the world has given you is made of chains and demands, but mine is made of grace and mercy. You have my permission to rest. You have my permission not to solve everything today, but know that this relief is only the beginning of what I will give you, for there is a secret I have kept in the vault of time, waiting for the exact moment when your heart is calm enough to truly hear my next revelation. Tell me now that your heart is beginning to settle. What is the first thing you would do if you knew you no longer needed to worry about that problem that keeps you awake at night? Like this video as a sign that you accept my rest now. Share this whisper of peace with someone you know is about to crumble under the weight of life. Write in the comments, "my rest." But what I saw in the hidden depths of your soul while you thought you were alone is what will change everything you know about your future. There was an afternoon, exactly 7 years ago, when you sat at your kitchen's wooden table, the smell of brewed coffee mingling with the smell of your own tears. That day you didn't say anything aloud. You just looked at your hands and asked a silent question that no one on earth heard. You asked if your life would always be that cycle of interrupted beginnings and waits that seem never to end. I kept that question in the vault of my eternity, not because I didn't want to answer, but because the fruit of that answer needed time to ripen in the soil of your patience. While the world kept turning, and people passed you by without noticing the abyss opening in your chest, I was working behind the scenes of your story. I saw when you tucked away that memory, that document, or that wish at the bottom of a drawer, thinking that time would have turned it to dust. But what is dust to man, to me, is the raw material of creation. The secret I kept for this very moment is that nothing you lost was truly forgotten by me. I was merely rearranging the pieces so that, when the door finally opened, you would have the necessary maturity to cross the threshold without the fear of falling that has accompanied you for so long. For it is written in the book of the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 33, verse 3, "Call to me, and I will answer you, and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know." These unsearchable things are not just distant promises. They are the restoration of your genuine laughter, and the return of that hope you buried deep so as not to suffer anymore. I am blowing on those ashes right now, while you listen to my voice. Feel the warmth of my presence warming your heart, as if the midday sun were touching your skin on a cold, cloudy winter morning. You thought you were alone in that waiting, but each second of silence was an act of my construction. Now, I am removing the veil. What was hidden will begin to manifest in your routine, in unexpected connections, and in a peace that completely defies the logic of your current problems. But listen, my daughter. The spring I have prepared for you has colors you cannot yet imagine, and the fragrance of the flowers to come has already begun to fill the environment where you are. Now, answer me honestly. If you could see your tomorrow through my eyes right now, what would you say to that 7-year-old version of yourself crying alone at that kitchen table. If this revelation touched your core, subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any details of what I will still say. Like this video if you believe that my secret for you is good. Share this encounter with someone who is also tired of waiting in the dark. Write in the comments, my future. But the new season that is approaching will not only come with promises, it will bring with it such clear evidence that it will make everyone around you recognize that I am in fact your God and your protector. Listen to the sound coming from outside your window, the gentle song of a bird you haven't heard in months. Have you noticed how the air, once heavy and dry, now carries a freshness that seems to embrace your face early in the morning? I am blowing the grey clouds away from your house and bringing the sun back to your days. You have spent too long withdrawn into the winter of your soul, hidden under cloaks of sadness and protecting your heart from the cold of others' indifference. But I tell you now, the season of ice and stagnation has come to an end. The soil of your life, which seemed infertile and cracked by scarcity, is being watered by the waters of my mercy at this very second. I saw you walking down the corridor of that hospital, or standing before that empty shelf, feeling the cold of fear run down your spine. I saw when winter tried to freeze your dreams, and you thought you would never again feel the warmth of good news. But the rainy season has passed. The waters that flooded your soul serve to cleanse impurities and prepare the earth for what is emerging. Do not look at what is left behind, at the dry leaves that the wind carried away. Look at the green shoots that are breaking through the earth beneath your feet. For it is written in the Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verses 11 and 12. See, the winter is past, the rains are over and gone. Flowers appear on the earth. The time of singing has come, and the cooing of doves is heard in our land. This is my promise to you today. The voice of my peace will be louder than the noise of your past afflictions. Where there was weeping, there will be a new song. Where there was the silence of loneliness, there will be the sound of celebration and of doors opening. I am changing the atmosphere of your home. Feel this fragrance of new beginnings that fills your room. What I am planting in you now does not depend on the season of the world, but on my sovereign will. But don't rush. Walk slowly beside me and appreciate each flower I cause to bloom in your garden. Prepare your heart, my daughter, for the embrace you have longed for is just a step away in a place of safety you never imagined finding. Looking at the garden of your life, what is the first flower you see blooming today under my light? If you feel your new season has begun, enjoy this video and let my light reach other hearts. Share this encounter with a soul still trapped in winter. Write in the comments, bloom. But what will happen when my arms finally encircle your shoulders is something that will change your identity forever. Close your eyes for a brief moment now. Feel as if, at this very moment, a heavy, soft cloak is placed upon your weary shoulders, protecting you from the icy wind blowing outside. I am here, not as an abstract idea or a distant force, but as the Father who waited patiently at the gate until you turned your gaze to me. I saw the decades pass, I saw your hair change color, and I saw your strength diminish, but my love for you remained as young and intense as on the day I formed you. Feel the warmth of my presence enveloping your being, like the afternoon sun that warms the skin and brings peaceful sleep after a long day's work in the fields. You spent years trying to be the pillar of everyone around you. You were the shoulder where many cried, the hand that fed, and the voice that gave advice while your own heart cried out for a little comfort. I saw when you felt invisible, even surrounded by people, and when the weight of responsibility seemed to crush your chest. Now, my daughter, it is your turn to be cared for. Rest your head on my chest and listen to the constant beating of my heart. It is the rhythm of eternity that sustains every cell of your body. Feel the scent of home, of wet earth, and of the peace that only exists here in my arms. For it is written in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33, verse 27, "The eternal God is your refuge, and with him are the everlasting arms. He will drive out your enemies before you, saying, 'Destroy them.'" Understand that these arms that now embrace you are the same ones that support the galaxies, but they bend with all delicacy to hold you. There is no longer any need to keep your guard up. There is no longer any need to pretend that you have all the answers. In my embrace you are simply my beloved girl, safe from all evil, from all gossip, from all scarcity, and from all loneliness. The world tried to tell you that you were alone, but every step you took towards this moment was guided by me. Feel my hand wiping away the trace of that last tear that insists on falling. This embrace is not a farewell to your problems, but the place from which you will draw the strength to overcome them with a smile on your face. But listen carefully. While you rest here, I am preparing the final whisper, the word that will seal your destiny, and that you will carry engraved on your soul so you will never fear tomorrow again, now that you are safe in my arms. What word would your soul shout if it had only one chance before God at this moment? If this embrace has reached you, enjoy this video as an act of surrender. Share it with that person you know also needs refuge right now. Subscribe so that my voice is the first thing you hear upon waking. Write in the comments, "My refuge." Wait, for what I am about to whisper to you is the key you have sought your whole life. Now that silence fills the space where you are, and my peace has found a home in the center of your soul, I want you to breathe deeply. What we experienced here today was not just a video that played on your screen or a sound that occupied your ears for a few minutes. It was a direct intervention from the throne, a rescue plan down to the smallest detail, so that you would remember who the daughter I love so much is. I saw when you doubted whether your story would have a new chapter, but now you feel in the warmth that warms your chest that your pain truly has an end date. Everything I told you on this journey, from the invitation by your name to the embrace that enveloped you a moment ago, was to prepare your spirit for the greatest of all revelations. Do you remember that at the beginning of our journey, I made you a promise? I promised that I would give a clear answer and whisper to your heart, a phrase that would serve as a spiritual key to open the doors that fear tried to seal. The moment has come for you to take possession of this truth that has sustained prophets, kings, and servants throughout millennia. The phrase you should carry engraved in your mind when you lie down and when you wake up, the word that will be your shield against any storm, is this: I can do all things through him who strengthens me. This is not just a sentence written in an ancient book. It is the decree of my strength working in your weakness. It is the confirmation that, with my hand holding yours, there is no mountain too high or valley too dark to stop you. I want you to seal this word right now. As an act of faith, of surrender, and of response to heaven that has opened up for you, write this phrase of victory in the comments now. I can do all things through him who strengthens me. As you type each letter, feel the chains of discouragement falling to the floor of your room. May this comment be the starting point of the new season of miracles that I am inaugurating in your life today. My voice will continue to guide you, for there is still much that heaven wishes to reveal to you. Don't stop here. I have prepared other prophetic messages and prayers that are saved for you in our channel's playlist. Continue listening to me, continue seeking my presence. For I will be waiting for you at the next meeting to show you secrets that your eyes have not yet seen. Go in peace, my beloved daughter. I am with you every second of this new journey. I can do all things through you that you may be eternal. I am your Lord.